It's Billy Jones here, founder of Switch Lanes, Rock County.
Reese, candidate for 45th Assembly State Representative and founder of Vivi Media.
We out here with Bragging Rights ENT.
That's right.
Bragging Rights ENT.
What you got? Some questions for me, right? You're going to ask me about this campaign.
Yeah, I'm actually about the campaign. You got so much going on. Might touch on Vivi Media, Beloit Podcast.
Definitely.
We can definitely start off with the campaign, though. Pretty much, we spoke earlier about apathetic voters.
Yeah.
If a lot of people don't know what that is, that's the people who really don't vote. They really don't care either way about the process, and they just don't get involved. If you had a platform to reach those people, what would you say to encourage them to vote in November?
First of all, I've been an apathetic voter. I know what it's like to not want to participate in a system that doesn't feel like it represents you. I know what it feels like to be not represented, and being apathetic to the system is definitely something I can relate to. But I would say if you look at voting numbers, on average, very few people show up and vote, decide everything for all of us. So if you see a candidate that you think is worth your time, definitely get out and vote, especially if you are an apathetic voter.
Okay. And this is a similar question, but why is it important for people in Beloit to vote on the state level?
On state level, well, local government matters, right?
Yep.
And if you want local government to have more decision locally, then you kind of have to pay attention to your state representatives and your assembly representatives. What we're running for is really what you need to pay attention to get local government really the power it should have.
Okay. Can you name a few issues that your campaign is going to focus on?
Yeah, I think in Wisconsin, a lot of us know that criminal justice is an issue. We have the highest incarceration rate in the United States, and that's not a good thing. So what are we doing to address that? And when you think about it, we have our drug war, which I think all of us can say it amounts to a lot of spending locally for law enforcement agencies, which the results accumulate in our incarceration rate. So if we could figure out a way to maybe reduce funding for the drug war, which seems to be, in a lot of people's opinion, a failed drug war. If we could do that, maybe we would approach the criminal justice reform issue in a common sense way, maybe by focusing on hemp and marijuana decriminalization. We could be growing hemp here in the 45th District. That means Beloit and South Central Wisconsin. That's a huge industry.
Okay.
And that's our future if we vote the right people in.
Okay. I'm wearing my Libertarian button here.
Not missing out. Right?
I'm learning about the party here. Pretty excited about a lot of stuff that's going on. On every level within that party. It's a learning experience. What attracted you to the Libertarian Party, and what inspires you to run for state assembly? I mean, that's a two-part question.
Yeah, go back to the apathetic voters. When I was an apathetic voter, I was a person, I grew up here in Beloit, and I don't pay attention to politics. The politics were not a part of my life until I started realizing the job loss in the area, and kind of evolved from there, paying attention to local government, state government. But looking at the Libertarian Party, it enabled me to actually have a political party to relate to.
Okay.
The Democrats and Republicans seem to be quite the same, and Libertarians seem to be regular people who want to get government out of our life and let us just live in mostly peace if possible. And that's not an easy thing, but the Libertarian Party does stand for that. And I think there's a lot that the Libertarian Party has fought for, getting on ballot access, which Democrats and Republicans, it's been a long time since they've had a honest battle like that.
Yeah.
So Libertarians when it comes to genuine battles, they've had those battles. They have a hard time being included in debates. They face all genuine battles that you would think a regular candidate or political party would face, and they do it in a genuine way, which I hope a lot of people can relate to, like I did.
Okay. And you say politics hasn't always been a part of your life, but you listen to a lot of political radio growing up.
Yeah. It started with philosophy in high school. If you guys went to school with me, I was kind of up and down with school. Like a lot of kids, there was days I went and did really well, and there was times I did not do very well.
Okay.
But towards senior year, I got into philosophy, and that really opened my eyes to other things. And back to your question, I'm off topic.
Okay, no, I'm not really, because I really didn't finish the question. Politics wasn't always a part of your life, but radio
Right.
has always been a part of your life.
So going from the philosophy in high school, I pretty much made myself personally pursue education.
Okay.
Philosophy was a part of that. I got into other comedic writers. Al Franken was one of them. Okay. Al Franken, who later became a senator. And he had a couple books that were available at our high school, Lies and the Lying Liars That Tell Them, and Rush Limbaugh is a Big Fat Liar. I read both of them. And this was before Al Franken was a politician, ran for political office. I thought the guy was hilarious. I thought he was also intelligent and smart. He went on to host one of the first liberal talk radio shows on Air America, which I was a big fan. Not being a political person, the comedy drew me into politics and paying attention to issues. And so I can thank a Democrat for bringing me into political talk radio.
Okay. And you've done some radio yourself.
Yeah.
You were the president of WADR.
For a brief time, yeah.
Janesville Community Radio.
Yeah, it was a great experience up there.
What do you got going on now as far as radio?
Vivi Radio. We're doing Vivi Media, LLC, and Vivi Radio, which is a 24 streaming radio platform via TuneIn and our vivimedia.org website.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we got a lot going on with Vivi Radio. We're trying to promote local artists, local businesses, local nonprofits, groups, organizations of any kind. We're a commercial community radio station.
Okay.
So where there's nonprofit, we're a community commercial radio station, which is a little different.
Okay. You have a top 5 rappers.
Oh.
I don't know your preference for genres of music.
Yeah.
You have a top 5.
Top 5 in general.
Top 5 artists.
Top 5 artists.
Top 5 artists.
Yeah. Top 5 artists, yeah, because that'd be a little different for bragging rights here. I know you guys have done top 5 hip hop, but yeah, we'll do something a little different. Top 5 artists for me. Number 5, Leonard Cohen. I listened to a guy named Leonard Cohen. He passed away, I think, in 2014, but folk music typewriter, went through all kinds of different styles. On the same level, I'd say number 4, Bob Dylan, big Bob Dylan fan.
Okay.
There's a joke, Bob Dylan wrote every song ever written, and it might be true. Bob Dylan. Let's get to Beloit. There's some great artists that are actually from Beloit. They're on my top 5. I wasn't always a big fan, but knowing they're from Beloit, Cheap Trick, huge fan.
Okay.
The Zander family from Beloit. The grandfather Zander was a jazz musician here in Beloit. We're trying to dig up some of that audio if possible. Might be impossible. So that's number 3, Cheap Trick on that. Number 2, I'm a fan of a band named Ween. They're like a psychedelic rock band. I've seen them about probably 5 times in concert, so I'm kind of, I'm a big musician type guy. I'm a big music fan. Number 1 would be Frank Zappa. I'm a huge Frank Zappa fan.
Okay.
Which, when I came across Phil Anderson, another fellow Beloiter, I came across him when I started doing the Beloit podcast. When I searched his name on Facebook, he had a Frank Zappa logo for his icon, and
Okay.
I was like, who's this guy?
Okay.
He was running for Senate from Beloit, and now for governor.
Yep. Not for governor. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my top 5. Leonard Cohen, Bob Dylan, definitely throw Frank Zappa and Ween in there. But yeah, a lot of people will be unfamiliar with some of those names for sure.
I'm unfamiliar with every last one of them.
There you go.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, and now you got the top when everybody says. I've been contemplating on it too. So I mean, I got a top 5. I got to go with number 1. I got to go with Rakim Allah, God MC. Never cussed in his lyrics, and y'all probably never realize it because it's so hard. Never even cursed. That's amazing. I got to go with Tupac for number 2. Nas, Twista, and number 5 is hard. I really can't. It's so many options in there. Who would I say? It's got to be somebody lyrical though. I'll throw Kiss in there. That's the first one I thought of. But number 5 is like a tie between so many people. But I'll just back to Reese. Back to Reese.
Talk about a list. I knew a couple.
Yeah. Not as upbeat. We had a recent tragedy. We lost a few Beloit residents. You knew the Landis personally.
Yeah.
And you've been affected by the loss. Can you kind of explain why you've been affected by that loss and kind of the relationship that you and the Landis had?
Definitely. I'm sure, like a lot of people, I came across Lando debating on Facebook, political debates, I think about late 2014, early 2015. And me and him didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. But I don't know, we always found a common ground after some debate. And for both of us, it was like a personal achievement. And so when I started doing the Beloit podcast, he was one of the big supporters. He really supported what we were doing with the show, giving people Beloit a platform to say whatever they want to say. And, with the campaign, he was a big supporter. He wanted to, see us stand up for issues that really do matter, criminal justice reform, ending the drug war. So, yeah, Lando was a big supporter and definitely a personal motivator for me. He was one person that every day woke up pretty much on fire, full of life. And so it's definitely a loss to our community, huge loss.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the community are coming together, groups and individuals. We're gonna do a benefit,
right,
to help with some of the funeral costs. And you're going to be doing Beloit podcast there. Can you kind of explain like the opportunity you're going to provide for like some of the friends and loved ones at that event?
Right. Yeah. So we're going to set up a table. We're going to have a podcast microphone, a digital microphone, and we'll try to get some people's personal stories that they'd like to share. Maybe something they just like to say in tribute. But in general, we'd like to kind of put it out there on the record, have everybody in one place at one time, a unifying effort. And I know we're going to see that with the event, and we can send it out to everyone on social media, on the web too.
Yeah.
So it'd be great to get everybody unified and say something meaningful if we can.
Yeah, and we're going to organize that. It's going to be a week after the actual funeral on February 10th. At 250 Garden Lane, the Beloit Courthouse Event Center. And got a menu worked out. It's going to be like some chicken, fried baked, spaghetti, macaroni and cheese. And it's going to be $10 a ticket. If anybody in the community wants to come out and support that. We're trying to raise $1,000 to $1,500 to go towards helping the family with the burial costs.
Yeah, we'd appreciate your support, and I know it would definitely make a big difference. And this hasn't been easy for anybody, so it's definitely the best thing we can do.
Yeah.